What is going on, guys? Austin back again with Volt Life Proof Grooming, and today we're going to be talking about the differences between electric shavers and razor blades and which one is best. Now, asking which of these options is the best is like asking if Coca-Cola or Dr. Pepper is the best. There's really no right answer because both of these options have their weak and strong points, but that's what we're going to get into today. So electric shaver and razor blades are just two very overarching blanket terms to describe a wide variety of things. For example, the traditional straight razor is a razor blade, but so is a multi-bladed safety razor, ones that use these little cartridges. So for the sake of simplicity, today we're going to go through a quick description of the three main types of shaving utensils that are still used today. We're going to be talking about actual electric shavers, we're going to be talking about traditional safety razors, and we're going to be talking about the more popular cartridge razors, the ones that use the replaceable heads. So let's jump into electric shavers. Now, electric shavers are called shavers because they don't really have razor blades in them. Instead, they use what can only be described as gates or foils that allow the hair to pass through before they're clipped off in a scissor-like motion with a rotating pendulum. Here are some of the pros for electric shavers. You get quicker shave times because these electric shavers force the hair inside the foil before they're cut off, and they can do a lot of area at once pretty easily. It reduces ingrown hairs and cuts, and this is just the benefit of a scissor-like cutting motion. They're more portable, and you can shave dry or wet. Now, to some people, this is a must-have, because you can either choose to shave more comfortably, or if you're on the go and don't have time to get something wetter to apply, shaving cream or butter or something like that, then these electric shavers are a perfect option for you. But what about the cons? What makes these things not so good? The first one is it doesn't shave as closely. Now, the problem with a scissor-like cutting motion is that you don't actually get as close to the skin when you're shaving off those hairs as you would with like a razor blade. Now, this is part of the reason why you don't get as many cuts or ingrown hairs too, is because the hair is actually somewhat still extending out of your skin a little bit. Also, they're just not completely waterproof. They're water resistant, most of them are, but you can't submerge it in water. And probably the biggest issue with these is that occasionally you will suffer from some dead batteries. And this is especially bad if you're in the middle of a shaving session and the battery dies on you and you're on the go. Let's say you're in a hurry and you have to go half shaved. I've had to do that a few times. It's not fun. So now, what about cartridge razors? Now, cartridge razors have typically become the go-to term that everyone thinks of when they think of razor. It's become super widespread, super popular, and for pretty good reason. This is because cartridge razors are cheap, relatively safe, and have quickly become the go-to tool in the grooming market. These razors have multi-blade designs that are typically working in stages. Now, when I say working in stages, what I mean is some of the blades are actually designed to lift the hair up, and the further blades are designed to cut it as closely to the skin as possible, almost underneath the skin, because you're raising the hair. So here are the pros and cons of this design. The first pro is you're going to get the closest shave for a longer amount of time. Now, when I say longer amount of time, I mean because this design pulls the hair up and shaves it almost underneath the skin, there's going to be a longer amount of time you have before you start to re-notice that hair growing back out. They're easy to use because they're not complicated, and you can typically get fresh blades anywhere. They're pretty inexpensive because you can keep the handle but just change the blade heads themselves, and they're easy to clean. But here are some cons with this design. The first one being it's going to take you a lot longer to shave because you have to do it wet. Unless you just love torturing yourself in your skin, you have to get this wet, or you have to use it with shaving cream or something like that. Also, the blades dull rather quickly. They're going to need to be replaced every 4 to 5 shaves because of the slicing method instead of the scissor-like cutting method. You have an increased chance of nicks, burns, or ingrown hairs simply because it's shaving so closely that the hair has a chance to get under your skin instead of growing out the follicle. And it's also just less versatile. You need to do it by a sink. You can't really choose the length of a beard or mustache or whatever that you're trying to shave or trim like you would with an electric shaver. And now for the last shaving method we're going to talk about today, we're going to be talking about dual-edged safety razors. Now, I don't actually have one because they're really pretty hard to find. They've been around forever. I'm talking since the 1800s. They're extremely simple, extremely low cost, and were invented strictly to replace straight razors. And this was just to give the everyman a bit more of an edge and require less skill really to use when you're shaving yourself. Because this, if you don't know how to use it, is a deadly weapon, and that's why safety razors came around in the first place. So the pros of these types of razors is that they are the cheapest shaving method because you don't even need to replace pre-built heads, you just need to replace the actual razor blades in them. And for example, a 50 count of these razor blades that have 2 edges, by the way, they're dual edged so you can use either side multiple times. A 50 count box of those is like less than $10. One of the other pros is you get less ingrown hairs, and that's because the single blade design doesn't lift and cut your hair, it just slices it off automatically just right away. And so you end up cutting the hair even with your skin and not below it like you would with cartridge razors. Also, the blades themselves just require less replacing. So what are the cons? All right. First one is it still requires a little bit of practice. Also, the actual handles of them, you only need to buy once, but the actual handles can get expensive simply because they're just not as popular anymore. There's less of them out there. And this type of razor is just not suitable for every hair type. These razors are going to be much harder to use if you have super thick, super coarse hair and require you to actually change the blades more often. So real quick, here's what I'm gonna do. I only have 2 options available to me. I have the actual cartridge razor, which is the most popular method on the market, and I have an electric shaver. I let the hair around my neck grow a little bit out so I can try both of these shaving methods and give you an idea and a close-up view of how each one looks after I shave. And then you can make your own decision. So here I'm just shaving and the end results are to be expected. You can clearly see that the one with the razor blade resulted in a closer, finer shave, but also caused more redness and irritation to my neck as opposed to the electric shaver side, which didn't shave as closely, noticeably not as closely, however doesn't irritate or cause as many ingrown hairs as the actual razor did. And this is just the result you can expect across the board. The one benefit that I have to give to the electric shaver is that you can customize any look because often they come with guards with adjustable sizes and lengths that you can choose to shape your beard any way you want it. Either way, that's all I got for you guys in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was able to make it a little more clear on the differences between electric shavers and razor blades and which one might be right for you. So if you guys like this video, please hit subscribe and like and comment and tell us which option is best for you. And if you learned anything, let us know. I'll have an article link in the description as well as a quiz that you can take if you're looking for the best beard products for you. And just thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.